What's up, all my fight fans? So I want to ask you guys something. Has anybody heard any recent news regarding Francis Ngannou? We keep hearing about the heavyweight division moving. We just recently had Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. We got Derek Lewis coming up this Saturday. And then we got Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Gane. I believe it's in September. There's been a lot of talks about John Jones coming back and him going against Stipe Miocic, which actually is going to be a really great fight. A fight that I'm very much looking forward to if that does take place. I've been hearing more and more rumors about it. But haven't really heard too much rumors regarding the champ. Now, if you guys remember, he just beat Cyril Gane back in January in a very, very dominant fight where I feel like, and not even just dominant fight, excuse me, before I go off the rails, odds were so much stacked against Francis. If we remember the story leading up to Francis, this was Francis' last fight on his contract, and he's been constantly talking about how he's been underpaid and mistreated and all these other talks that's been going on with Francis Ngannou. And the big talk was that he's been wanting to box Tyson Fury. And we already know that Dana White and the UFC has not wanted to do that. Dana White has wanted Francis to re-sign his contract. Francis doesn't want to. He wants to box. He wants much more to his contract. It's not that he doesn't want to be a part of the UFC. He wants to be able to have more control, be more free, where he can be able to do certain things, such as boxing. So he does go in there, odds stacked against him, against Cyril Gane. Nobody even knew at this point that he was hurt. I believe he had a torn ACL or MCL. I don't know if it was one knee or both knees. I couldn't quite remember. And he completely wrestles Cyril Gane, which completely throws everybody off. Oh my God, I did not see that coming either. So, and wins the championship. And we all remember that ending, right? Where Dana White was supposedly busy handling something in the back and could not put the strap around Francis. And then that was that. So now what my question is, what I just asked you guys is what's going on? Has the UFC reached an agreement with Francis? We remember in April, Tyson Fury went against Dillian White. And after Tyson Fury wins his fight, in walks Francis Ngannou, where they're both openly telling each other, yes, let's do this. And then they were both back and forth on social media talking, yes, let's do this. And I even believe, I remember correctly, Francis Ngannou has actually said he would be ready in December. So, yeah, I just want to know what's going to happen. Because we have the heavyweight division moving forward, and we have all these talks about John Jones and Stipe, but there's no talks about the actual UFC champ, Francis Ngannou. Is the UFC going to strip him? Is the UFC going to move along with John Jones and Stipe and just claim that as the undisputed heavyweight champion? Or are they going to actually play ball with Francis Ngannou and actually let him box? And let's get into that, guys. What is the big fucking deal with letting Francis Ngannou box Tyson Fury? What is it? I really, really wish somebody would help me understand that, because I clearly don't. I do not understand what is the big deal with letting Francis Ngannou go off and do his thing. We see what's going on with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has actually wanted to go and do his thing as well. I even remember hearing Tony Ferguson. He wants to go and do some other stuff as well. I'm sure multiple fighters want to do that, but the UFC is just not allowing it. Now, I can understand to a point where they're saying, oh, well, we don't want it to hurt our brand. Now, listen, you guys are two different things. I don't care what anybody's training at. It is two different sports. James Toney, a great boxer, a legend, Hall of Famer, went in there against Randy Couture and just got wrestled and submitted, and that was it. Clearly show that boxers cannot necessarily do MMA. Did not hurt his career at all. Did not. I mean, I know James Toney's career was much more over with than done, but I promise you, you put him in the boxing ring, he is still going to be well known for being a boxer. You know, even though he's past his prime or whatnot, but it did not hurt. Like anything that James Toney ever did in his career, it's like, no, oh no, he's not as tough as we thought it was because he got wrestled in against Randy Couture. Didn't hurt. Conor McGregor went in there against the very best, or one of the very best, to ever do it, Floyd Money Mayweather. And literally just got dominated. Got dominated. Of course, there's all this talk about Floyd Mayweather carried him, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? He got dominated. He got knocked out. Came back to the UFC and actually broke records with Khabib and made the UFC's biggest pay-per-view when they went toe-to-toe with each other. So obviously, it did not hurt his brand. It does not hurt these guys' brand. It will, if Francis Ngannou goes over there against Tyson Fury, boxes and loses, he is still going to be considered a very dangerous man in the UFC. It would not hurt him one bit. It would actually even help him. It would actually even grow his superstardom because maybe, perhaps, even though this is a very, very long shot, that there's some people that might not even know who Francis is, but know who Tyson is. And they're like, hey, who's this guy? Well, he is the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, he does know how to strike, but he is not a boxer. He does not know the fundamentals of actual boxing. He's actually trained boxing, though. A lot of people don't realize that he actually wanted to be a boxer first before an MMA fighter. But be that as it may, his career has been nothing more but just pure MMA fighting. So the point of all this is it is not going to hurt anybody's brand by going off and doing other things. You're actually going to keep your superstars. You're going to make your superstars even that much more happier. And at the end of the day, you guys are going to make money too. When Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather went at it, and the Dana White was a part of that whole fight, he made a lot of money. Dana White's going to make a lot of money if he helps promote Tyson Fury versus Francis. Dana White would make a lot of money if he helped Nate Diaz and Jake Paul box and promote that fight as well. Everybody wins. Everybody makes money. It is not that big of a deal. You're not losing whatsoever. Even if Francis Ngannou knocks out Tyson Fury, good God, your heavyweight champ just knocked out the boxing's heavyweight champ. That's a huge win. Huge win. But if he loses, well, it's boxing. It's not something he necessarily is, studied. It's not something he's always done. He is known for his hands. He's known for his power. But still, again, you're going against by far one of the very best, if not the best, heavyweight champion of the world in boxing. In the end, everybody wins. Francis is going to get the payday that he wants. You, the UFC, are going to get the payday that you definitely want. And Francis is going to come back to the UFC and defend his title. What, if you put him against John Jones? Oh, wow, he got knocked out by Stipe. He got knocked out by Tyson Fury, excuse me. Name one other heavyweight champion in your organization that could knock out Tyson Fury. Name another. Name another guy that could put those boxing gloves out and knock out Tyson Fury. This is just hypothetical if he were to get knocked out or stopped or even lose a decision. There's none. So it don't matter. All that trash talk, well, from possible opponents in the future for Francis Ngannou and MMA, ain't nobody can say that. Nobody can actually say that. And of course, if you got all these other MMA fighters who want to go do other things, again, like Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson, and what have you, then sure. If you want to go do boxing, go ahead and do boxing. It would be different if we were sitting here saying that Francis Ngannou wants to do another MMA fight in another MMA organization like Bellator or ONE, then I could see the where Dana White is definitely reserved, and Dana White's kind of like, no, I don't want that to happen, because of course you're going to be feeding your competition. You're going to be helping your competition raise up even more. So yeah, I could definitely see that being a possibility, but that's not the possibility. That's not the case we're talking about here. Dana White is not in competition with boxing. As a matter of fact, I feel Dana White surpasses boxing because of all the boxing politics, why fighters cannot fight each other and such. So in this case, definitely let's not hold this up. You know, you might be losing another fighter in Nate Diaz. We know this is Nate Diaz's last fight. And who knows, maybe Francis does not want to come back after the way you're showing that how he's being treated. And all I want to know is, I hope he does, because good God, I want to see him face against Jon Jones. When that fight was first announced, I was like, good, damn, that would be a fun fight. I mean, my money was on Francis only because we don't know how Jon Jones is, but we'll get into that later. But still, who would not want to see that? I would love to see a Stipe Part 3. And of course, we're hearing rumors about Daniel Cormier coming back. And I already mentioned that in an earlier video that he should come to heavyweight. Again, there's all these fun fights that we can still see Francis in. So let's just let this man do what he wants. Let this man get paid. And let this man come back and defend his title. Because I want to see it. I would love to see it. I remember hearing Dana White talking in the press conference saying, oh, who wants to see that fight? Trust me, people want to see that. I would love to see it. So let's just make it happen. What about you guys? Please leave a comment. What do you think was happening with Francis Ngannou? Do you think he's going to box Tyson Fury? Do you think he's just going to sign with the UFC? Is Dana White going to just make Jon Jones and Stipe the undisputed championship and just vacate Francis Ngannou? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.